Go Beaver! Away!
Hello! Welcome to KritzKast. We're going to be watching the ETF2L Nations Cup number 7. We're going to be watching a Group B official. It's going to be round 1. It's going to be between the Netherlands and Portugal. This is going to be a pretty decent little matchup, but first we're going to go through the introductions. Hello, I am the one who's speaking right now is me, HiipFire. I also have my co-caster here, Morris.
Hello.
And we also have our analyst here, DuMmTm.
Oh, that is me, in fact.
Yeah, we also have Wiethoofd on Productions. Big shots to him. But yeah, so this is going to be, I don't know, it's going to be one of the more interesting officials probably from Group B. It's a bit like you have, you know, your top dog team, you got Germany, and then on the bottom you have Algeria. And then you have these two in the middle that are going to be fighting for a playoff seed, you know, the second seed. It's going to be Netherlands and Portugal. And well, DuMmTm, what do you think about these two teams?
Should be relatively evenly matched up. The only outstandingly high-level players are Morrow on the Medic and Aubrey on Demoman for the Netherlands. Everything else should be really close around the same level, and it will really show who practiced the most. And the Portuguese guys are really keen on the Nations Cup. They want to do as well as they can, given the lack of insane high-level players, Prem Div 1 level players. They still want to perform as well as they can. They practice a lot, like you mentioned before we went live. So we'll see how much that is worth against the raw talent of the few outstanding players of the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'm definitely a bit excited to watch this because, you know, I'm from the Netherlands, so I got a bit of I have a bit of a bias here.
Don't worry, I'm here to counteract that and just just make everything back that the Netherlands does.
I've actually played on a team with two of the people on the Dutch team, so I'm a bit even more biased. But I don't know, this is it's very intriguing. There's a lot of weird Div 2 level kind of players in this. Like you have some of the Louis van Gaal's players like DuMmTm, Mist, Jenny had played on that before as well. And then you have Wild Piggy, 31, and I think Fuxuval all are in Div 2 teams at this point. And then you got your outliers. I think Snow played in Div 1. Biohazard is actually in low player, and then you have some Prem players on the Dutch team. So it's I'm quite excited. I'm excited. This is gonna be good. Are you excited, Morris?
I think I will be. I mean, I recognize Martin from Low Pander. I recognize Morrow from, I think it was Copenhagen Games. But I mean, no matter what skill level these teams are at, which is obviously pretty high from what I'm hearing, it's gonna be a product game, which is just so exciting in general. Who doesn't like watching product? It's constant action. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do here today.
That's a good point, HiipFire, with the insight on the Netherlands. Who are possible snipers for the Dutch squad?
Well, I think if they have a sniper, it will probably be... I mean, the problem is I think the good snipers on this team are Mist and Jenny. Probably Jenny, if I remember correctly, is probably the better sniper, but I feel like they probably put DuMmTm on it because they would want to have both their really strong scouts and then have have two scouts and play a sniper. So I would presume that if they do play a sniper, to put either Martin or DuMmTm. I don't know how good Martin's sniper is. They could put DuMmTm on scout, but his scout's kind of so it's gonna be a bit interesting. But I don't know. I think DM wise, I would go with either Jenny or Mist.
Look at that in the so they can't decide what team to play on.
Oh no.
Everything just getting switched. I personally do not agree, because why would Portugal be on the red team? Not on the red team, whereas the Netherlands has both colors in the flag.
That's a good point. I like this theory.
Always make
How
me
long
happy
until
if
we
it
get
makes
custom
sense.
skins for every team?
Well, if you look at if you can't see it, the viewers can't see it, but Wild Piggy's avatar is actually not the Portuguese flag; it's the Portuguese royal flag, which has blue and white in it. So I mean, at least one of them is technically rocking the proper colors. If you're into the monarchy and all, then there you go. But yeah, we have apparently there was a heavy fist fight because people can't decide.
I guess they almost did, but then they just decided against it and not waste their own time.
I mean, people. That's one thing that's kind of weird about product is because it's symmetrical. Depending on what side you are, the map will be mirrored on your end. So I know how when I used to play with one of my old demos on my team used to always want to play on blue because if he played on red, he would always roll out the wrong way. So this is the one map where like it isn't a complete meme to like be kind of difficult about what side you want to play on. But
and even more like, oh, I guess we're getting live here. I was gonna say like it can be a big difference for soldiers as well, like because the rocket comes out offset from the screen. But we're actually going live on this game here, so let's see which if we get Fox or Aubreyek to mid first, and who's gonna be able to lock this down faster. Looks like it's going to be Aubreyek just a millisecond faster, just starting to posture up on these rocks. Both these teams haven't really made a big move yet. Just exchanging spam. Martin going in for a big bomb, getting a little bit of spam on Snow, but going super low in the process, making room for DuMmTm to come in and pick up Fox and Snow at the same time. Martin making a big play and pretty much scaring Portugal into backing off onto their own cliff. Jenny going to take the 1v1 with Wild Piggy on the flank and try to make some room for Spans to come in. And actually Spans manages to find Snow at the very end of this fight. Wow, what a confusing little mid. It was looking really, really scary for Portugal, but they managed to come back and make this into they don't win the fight, but they managed to salvage something out of it.
Yeah, the aggression from the soldiers from the Netherlands were quite good. I mean, first Martin jumped and he kind of beefed his jump a little bit, but he distracted those scouts for DuMmTm to get onto Snow. Unfortunate that Moro dies after all, but at least it's going to be, well, a mid-win, I guess, for the Netherlands.
Yeah, just for a minute. Maro died so late on that Portugal gets to come back in with the heals well before Maro spawns, and they manage to cap it off pretty much immediately. We've got Martin going in for another flank play, jumping around, keeping himself alive on cliff, trying to distract Spans and 31, but not really dying yet, and he's managed to bring back the entire Portuguese team. And in the meantime, while the Portuguese are trying to clean up Martin and Jenny, Netherlands are going to pick up the cap. Now, unfortunately, when you pick up the cap on product, you get a much slower spawn time. And with DuMmTm going in for a big play and not finding anything, Portugal are going to be able to find this cap once more. But interesting plays coming out from Netherlands. Some really creative stuff trying to get this point capped off. We got 31 now playing a fight in the flank as well.
Trying to go for that big flank, but it's pretty interesting just playing with the soldier behind the enemy lines at all times. It's kind of what you would do when the enemy team has a sniper, but they're just going to do it even without this sniper. They're going to go for this little forward hold, but it's a bit late as Portugal is already in on that cliff side.
Yeah, it's so hard to get that forward hold done when your demo's not there. Aubreyek just getting to mid. Netherlands going to decide at the last second to call off that forward hold. And so now they're just, Portugal's trying to posture up on cliff. Looks like they might be considering doing a little 4-man sack, trying to get the force out of Maro and then come in with the Uber later. But Snow's pretty far forward, so if they're not careful with this, Snow could get caught out if they're not careful sacking in 4 players. Maro as well is pretty passive on their own cliff, so looks like nothing major is going to happen. We're just going to stalemate for a couple of seconds, except Wild Piggy actually coming through connector, managing to find Martin in the 1v1. Mist is going to come in at the last second, clean it up. But at the same time, going to the flank, Maro's getting forced by 31 on the cliff. Everyone getting so distracted by that weird little flank play at connector that Maro was left completely alone. Aubreyek trying to come in for the counter bomb. Not gonna find... Well, he gets on the Snow, but isn't quite able to connect it. A lot of really great... This cap is going back and forth. It's unbelievable how fast this is going.
Yeah, Portugal just wanted to play it a bit patiently. They just actually waited for their own Uber to come up, then send their soldiers in, and they got the force eventually on tomorrow, and now they're in what is really the ideal position to be in, which is just, yeah, holding passively but behind the point with full ad. And the Netherlands trying to bomb in, but Snow is doing an okay job of dodging, but gets a pipe in the face, but eventually does survive. Jenny is behind, going to go for a bit of a... I don't even know what this play is. He's just sitting in Portugal's spawn. He's in a 1v1 Wild Piggy that he loses, so... Ooh. It's not really working out too hot for the Netherlands right now, but they're going to be pushing in with the Uber soon.
Yeah, it just seemed like the Netherlands soldiers didn't really know where Snow was standing. Aubreyek managed to get deep, but even landing a pipe, that wasn't nearly enough to clean up the force. And they're actually trying to get back onto mid now. Both these teams with all their players alive. This is going to be a tough ask for Netherlands. With Portugal already totally set up, but they're getting across the point. Netherlands and Portugal aren't really contesting it. They finally send Biohazard in, who gets the force off. But even though they got the force, 2 players have already gone down for Portugal. So this Uber exchange is really dangerous if they stay in. This is going to wind up being a 4v6. These spawns are not going to be here in time. And yeah, they're paying for it. Jenny and DuMmTm both behind. Portugal completely surrounded here. Snow super low, actually somehow managing to survive for just a couple of seconds. Gonna finally go down to the scatter gun of mist. And it's all up to Aubrey to find something, and he does! A really nice pipe on the 31, but no, it's not gonna turn out well for Portugal there. Just staying a little bit too aggressive with that Uber.
Yeah, they tried to just go in with the Uber when the Netherlands tried to cap the point and just, you know, use the point as kind of an incentive for the Netherlands to overextend and then Uber in. But because of that soldier behind, they kind of got caught between like wanting to clean up that soldier and actually just going to Uber in onto the point. They kind of just did neither and just let the Netherlands cap, and then they Ubered in, and they already had like dropped 2 players, so it's not really working out too hot. And the Netherlands is really close to winning this round. I think that's just going to be it. They just all get cleaned up on the point.
Yeah, that Uber is going to seal the deal. I mean, Snow going down at the end of that fight, and there was so little time left in the timer anyway. I mean, there's really not a whole lot you can do. You just kind of have to sack into the point and hope that... I mean, all Portugal could really do is hope that Netherlands dropped the entire team in the Uber. That didn't wind up happening.
No, luckily not. The Dutch medic Moro is doing a pretty decent job of keeping her players alive.
Now in this next mid, Biohazard's playing up on that top rock, trying to keep the Netherlands soldiers from getting in deep, but not going to stop him. DuMmTm and Martin both getting in super deep. Netherlands playing this really aggressively, and Portugal were not able to punish that at all. Snow actually managing to go down from those soldier bombs. The Portuguese scouts were really nowhere to be found on that. Those soldiers needed to be cleaned up a heck of a lot faster. And I mean, if the bombs are good, and that's the mid for product. That's all you can really do at that point. You just got to rely on your scouts to stop it. And didn't happen this time.
Yeah, you would expect them to read it as that's exactly what the Dutch team did before, but yeah, they just kind of let it happen, and they're going to send their soldiers in now to try and get the force on tomorrow. It is successful, but there's a lot of players. Snow being able to get out, so that is a successful little sack wave for Portugal.
Yeah, that's kind of the classic product strat. It's unfortunate that Piggy and 31 are living for as long as they have, just considering that, you know, the later you die, the longer it's going to be before you can try to push out again, because your spawns are going to get lengthened. But, I mean, that's a classic little strategy. Just sack your entire team in. I mean, it's not like you're trying to hold a whole bunch of ground. So just send your team in, get the Uber ad, and then you can come in for free. Although, this time, Portugal have opted to bring out the sniper along with the Uber ad. Let's see what happens, because Martin is also in the flank, so that's going to be one less player to clean up Martin. Doesn't matter. Martin goes down pretty much immediately. And now with a pick and a sniper and the Uber ad, this should definitely be an easy cap-off for Portugal.
Should be able to just walk onto the point and then just try to protect Snow with the scouts there. Good deny from spans. With some headshots coming through and some other frags. Yeah, Portugal's just going to be able to get this point in the ideal situation possible. Just go onto the point. Just stand there with that Uber. Don't even pop it, but just force the Netherlands to respect it.
And I think it's interesting too, because normally when you have an Uber like that, you have to go super, super deep to make it effective. But when you have that sniper as well, you're already scaring the team into walking backwards. So unless they send a big sack in, there's no way they're going to get the force off. They're not going to be able to force you as a team if they're scared of getting sniped. And Biohazard has already landed a good headshot here, so Netherlands are going to be trying to be cautious. Martin going in for big flank play, some frag getting traded off on the point, and the Uber coming out. This is actually not looking great for Portugal. This Uber for the Netherlands is so much better. Yeah, Portugal just backing up the cliff. Martin jumping right past the Portuguese combo. Maybe a missed opportunity for a big play there, especially with 2 players down for Portugal, but opting to just grab the point instead and play it safe. But I think at this point it's just going to kind of be on Biohazard to make the shot and make some room for Portugal to come back in.
It most definitely is. The Netherlands has a pretty decent hold going on right now, but missed, yeah, getting body shot by Biohazard completely opens this point up, and the Netherlands now is going to be forced to try kind of back off, maybe send a player in or two, but they're both going down. There is Martin behind, trying to go on that sniper. Doesn't really look like it's gonna work out too hot, but yeah, that's gonna be it. In-house, he's dead.
Yeah, I think maybe baiting his team a little bit there, in my opinion. When you have both the soldiers go in, I mean, they both played on the flank for just so long that Portugal was just like, forget about them. We're just gonna walk forward, and managed to clean up the entire team. Plus, Biohazard still hitting shots. This is looking... They're still in the lead, but this could wind up being some bad news for the Netherlands.
They're soldier aggression worked quite well before, but it's not working as well as it was. Martin and DuMmTm not really able to find the frags behind that they've been looking for. Martin just kind of waits until the fight ends and then gets the sniper, but that's a little bit too late. They're going to be going and initiating an Uber trade here on the point right now.
Yeah, Uber's both on the point, but rather than actually taking the Uber fight, Netherlands has opted to just go and try to find the Portuguese flank. And they're having limited success. They managed to find the sniper and the scout, but Martin and Jenny getting traded out for it. Netherlands do manage to hold onto the point, but Portugal is going to show no fear, coming right back in. Wow! 31 getting annihilated in the air, and Aubryac hitting some nice pipes as well. That was just straight up DM. That was the Netherlands bringing out the big guns. And Biohazard's gonna answer back with a nice little headshot, a mid-air headshot on the DuMmTm. Wow, this is going crazy back and forth. Mist is now on the point, taking a ton of damage. Jenny and Martin now, Martin again on the flank. Let's see if Portugal are ready for yet another flank play from Martin. And Jenny, Spam's dying on the flank. Martin just putting some spam in. The rest of the Netherlands just kind of backing off, not wanting too much of this. Aubryac wasn't quite ready, and Biohazard finding Jenny as well is ultimately going to be the final nail in the coffin for this mid. Portugal going to finally hold on to it for sure. Martin, did Martin get out of there somehow? No, he's still in the back line. No, and he dies finally. That was kind of a crazy, chaotic fight, but Biohazard hitting some good headshots, and the little flank play is just not really working out for the Netherlands right now.
Yeah, Biohazard's playing really far forward, and Martin's expecting for him to be kind of one of those passive snipers that is like sitting on cliff in China, but Biohazard just walks onto the point, so Martin's flank is kind of useless because he just isn't able to get that easy direct, and Biohazard just hitting more headshots. It's making it really difficult for the Netherlands to really do anything, and this Uber, again, just losing 2 players, not really going too hot.
Yeah, players weren't really ready for the Uber there. I mean, it was either drop your demo or you know, they have a much worse Uber flashing your whole team, and Snow opted to just drop the demo. It's not going to wind up being the mid as long as Biohazard keeps hitting shots. It's like you get another headshot ring out. Not a kill, but we can see DuMmTm super low on the flank. Martin in behind one more time, and Snow actually dying to straight up spam from Aubryac with only 2 seconds left on the clock. Oh, this has got to be so frustrating for Portugal. That was so close to being it, but Netherlands just kept holding W, and Portugal weren't able to clean up those frags nearly fast enough. With only 3 seconds left, that is going to be it.
And they just started that last little fight like really fast. They got early frag onto the sniper, got the flank play going onto the combo, and they just got those 2-3 frags really early instead of slowly losing the fight because everyone's just getting headshot over the course of like a 20-second mid fight. Instead, they just find those frags early so that Biohazard can't even get those frags.
And that's exactly what you got to do. I mean, if that sniper's in the field and you wait, he'll hit something eventually. Good on the Netherlands for just taking it aggressively. We can see DuMmTm now going for another play. Martin already on the back line, so once again, putting a little bit of spam. It's up to Wildpiggy to stop him, and he does. DuMmTm now bombing in right after Martin dies. Biohazard and Wildpiggy both looking back for DuMmTm, going to give some room for Netherlands to come forward and find Snow, and Biohazard going down as well. So a really big distraction play coming out. Portugal not playing nearly well enough. Fucks behind. Wow. Whoa! Double piping of Jenny and Aubryac. Missed going down to Wildpiggy with the help of Fox. And it's just Morrow alone versus the world. Wildpiggy on so low, and Martin finally coming out of spawn to help out. There's no way Martin survives this. No, Morrow finally gonna go down. Super close. Martin almost saved her, but no such luck as Martin finally dies in this fight as well.
Fox is coming out of nowhere. All the Netherlands players were just looking forward, and suddenly Fox just comes around that box by the concrete side and just pipes 2 players, and yeah, it completely turns that mid-fight around in favor of Portugal.
And now we're just going to settle for just a couple of seconds here. We've got just like a 20, more like 20% ad for Snow here. Martin has come out on the spy, uncloaking on Snow right now, and gets the backstab. Wow, there's nobody even having their headphones on, apparently. Uncloaks right behind the Portuguese combo, and no one's aware. And actually going to find 31 as well. The Matador stab coming out from Martin. Oh no. That's going to make all the room that Netherlands needs to get the cat back, though. What was looking so promising for Portugal has been stolen away from the counterintelligence class.
There is 6 players up for Portugal, though, and the Dutch spawners have just now come in, so Portugal gets 10 seconds of a 6v4 fight, and if they find some frags early, they can definitely get this point, but they haven't even forced Moro yet. Now the Uber comes through, people aggressing forward. Biohazard finds one frag, but they're getting collapsed upon by the red Dutch players. They're not really doing much except for Mist getting that chase onto Snow, finds one frag. That's also going to be it for the Netherlands.
Yeah, Snow kind of running away from his team there as the deathmatch classes come in, and kind of forces himself into a little 1v1 with that Dutch scout. But there was really not a whole lot you can do at that point. I mean, the 4-man sack is a wonderful play, but in order for it to work, you need to have your medic in a position where he can't die when the Uber does come off. And Snow not nearly being careful enough with his life there. DuMmTm trying to come in for a flank play now, along with Martin. They find Biohazard right away, so this really dangerous flank play doesn't seem super necessary, but it winds up working out because the Portuguese combo does not want to go forward. They've already lost too many players, and now they're just kind of getting caught off on Cliff. Fox going down as well. Portugal still have a very slight Uber advantage, but they really need Biohazard to start hitting some shots here if they want to be able to claw this back, especially with Netherlands. Okay, I thought they might be going for a forward hold there. The DuMmTm was postured up, but they're going to come back to mid. And Biohazard should be able to find some room to get something done here, as long as he doesn't die to this trap on Cliff.
These Portuguese scouts need to deal with these soldiers a lot more effectively. These soldiers getting kind of free reign on the Portuguese side of the map, and they're just losing a lot of players in space because of it. But, oh, these Albrecht is getting this big frag onto Fox. There's 2 players on the right that are quite weak, but Mist isn't able to clean up either of them. Moro on like 10 HP, and DuMmTm going down, getting that force, and Moro's just so far back. This is going to be a very good situation for the Netherlands.
And well, I guess the Netherlands are finally going to get forced out, but the Portuguese combo is not quite out of the fight yet, so they could get caught. Albrecht, wow, what a great serve from Albrecht, going to keep his life just barely. Jenny going down super low as well. The entire Netherlands team is so low. They're finally just going to have to leave. 31 trying to make a little last-minute play, but he's totally alone. The rest of his team does not want to... Oh, and he finds Martin. 31 going nuts here. But the Netherlands trying to make a little bit of a overcommit there. They got the Uber off, and they could see the Portuguese combo right in front of them and went deep for it, but weren't quite able to convert anything. Maybe not everyone all on the same page, because Albrecht went for that play, but no one else is really there to follow it up.
Well, it's now a lot of ad for Portugal, and the Netherlands, they're just down like 60% Uber. They don't even really, they actually have the time to go for the sack wave, and they're just going to send a bunch of players in. Pretty much a free force onto Snow. Nobody really in position to actually deny any of those jumping players. So, with about 50 seconds to go, now this is going to get their Uber up.
But that's how it's done. I mean, the Netherlands got it done right. Maro was already in spawn when those sack waves started dying. There was no chance for Portugal to find her. But they're going to come back through main now with this full Uber advantage. Players going low, but not quite dying. 31 being the one to die instead in his defensive position. This is looking like some more bad news for Portugal. Oh, but Maro going to get dropped by Biohazard. Biohazard doesn't even need a sniper rifle to make headshots. What an excellent bomb taking out Maro. And now it's Jenny looking for a little bit of a flank, but getting caught out early and just decided to make her way out early. It's just, with so little time left on the board, Netherlands need to make some big plays. Martin gonna go for it, super low, gonna get taken out. DuMmTm again coming in for the bomb just a little bit after Martin. I would love to see him go at the same time one of these days. But not right now. They're gonna get the cap anyway. Portugal are just gonna wait for this Uber advantage to come up. There's no reason to play aggressive and lose their whole team.
Netherlands needs about 20 seconds. They need to kill about 20 seconds to get this Uber up. It's not really looking too great for them as Portugal is just pushing really aggressively in. And they just need to stand on this point. If the Netherlands doesn't come there in time, it's going to just be the round. And it's only Jenny. But the point is now being contested by the rest, but they walk off the point, they die. First round for Portugal.
Netherlands maybe not just looking at the clock as well as they should have been. It was only Jenny who was like, oh, I need to stay close and get on the point, and that wound up being one scout versus the combo. Jenny goes down, and then it was just a scout and a medic versus the entire Portuguese team. Now we got Albrecht and Fox just extending spam one more time. Let's see if Martin and TimTum decide to go aggro again. Martin poking around in connector, not really finding enough space to get in. TimTum on the high rock as well, also not going to find a whole lot of room. So still just spam going across. TimTum finally making a jump, just going to land on some spam from Biohazard. Martin going down as well, right as TimTum dies. And Portugal are going to collapse on this, absolutely no problem. It's up to Jenny to get Morrow out to spawn safely, as 31 and Piggy look for a chase, decide it's not really worth it, and would rather just hold on to the point. But that was a very convincing mid coming out from Portugal.
I feel like the Netherlands could have committed to just playing a really passive mid and waited for Portugal to push forward, but instead they sent both TimTum and Martin in like 15 seconds after the fight actually has started, and they just didn't really get any openings. They just kind of jumped because they got impatient. And this forward hold from Portugal, it's got themselves 2 frags. It does eventually get broken, but at least the Netherlands can walk out of their spawn room safely, I guess.
Yeah, they're going to pick up on Cliff, and this is honestly, like, this is a much better, as long as you've broken the forward hold, it's much less nerve-wracking as a defensive team on product. That forward hold is just terrifying, and this means that TimTum and Martin can do their thing, as they're trying to right now. TimTum going forward under the enemy grasp, but just going to die. Martin looking for some frags, going to find Fux and Biohazard, going to finally trade out to Piggy, but in the meantime, Netherlands has come out for the Uber exchange on point, and just with the much better spawn times for the attacking team, Portugal has decided just to give that up. And yeah, they want no part of that. They know Spans and Fux aren't going to be there for at least a couple more seconds. And they would rather just let Netherlands take it for now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's even Ubers. Portugal's definitely won some of these dry pushes, so they can definitely try again. They're going to be trying to send both their soldiers in onto Morrow very aggressively. It's kind of a sack wave, except that there are no Ubers in play. So Portugal just loses 4 players and then is forced to back off.
Yeah, not super clear what the plan was there. Ooh, no, Morrow not... Oh, whoa, Snow, yeah, Snow finally does go down at the end. I think Portugal may be trying to replicate the Martin TimTum strat, going super aggressive, but just getting cleaned up instantly, and there was not a whole lot they could do. Not finding the same... I don't know if the bombs weren't nearly as creative, or maybe just going straight into the combo. I think we've got a KritzKast coming out here. Yeah, from Portugal. So let's see if yeah, the Uber's already up for Netherlands. So I don't know what they're really planning here. Maybe they send another sack wave, get the Uber out before they force it off, or maybe they're just counting on Morrow dropping this. Biohazard coming in for the force. Morrow crazy low, less than 10 HP, but gonna hold on to it. Absolutely no fear. 31 now coming in for the follow-up. Morrow again super low decides this time she has to pop it off. And Snow and Spans and Wild Piggy, hopefully they can live for a couple seconds here because this KritzKast is up. I'm not sure if Netherlands know that the KritzKast is in play, but if they don't, this could... Yeah, they're playing pretty far forward. This could be some bad news.
I kind of liked the idea of going for like a smaller sack wave and then trying to just crits as they try to like chase for Snow, but it's not really what they had in mind, and now they're in kind of a weird spot with this crits, but Netherlands is holding very passively, so it's going to be really on Fux to get this one big stick. The crits does get popped close to Morrow. He does get that sticky snipe. Orbiak quite weak. That's basically the only pick they really needed. They find a second one as well. They find a third. Just with the Netherlands all on double-digit HP, they all go down except for Jenny. And that's going to be the cap for Portugal.
That was a convincing crits. Netherlands the Dutch players trying to go for just going for the medic, because the thing that's different from crits than Uber is that when they pop it off, there's no invulnerability. As long as you can just instantly kill the medic, the crits is useless. The Dutch players trying to go for that kind of strategy, but Snow managing to flash his scout right at the perfect moment to clean up those aggressive players and really saving that KritzKast and giving them the point. Unfortunately, Netherlands is back in here. Aubrek picking up Wild Piggy, and the big bomb coming in from TuMTum, getting fucked super low. Hasn't tried to fight them from the frag just yet. Gonna wind up trading it out. But this fight is going crazy. Netherlands finally caps off the point. Snow getting out with his life with a 50% ad, but still a couple more seconds on these spawns, so it's all up to Wild Piggy to see if he can hold on to Cliff against Aubrek, who is backing up to the point. This is going to have to be really fast if Portugal want to take advantage of this Uber advantage. And I'm not sure. Moro already at 80%.
They're trying to edge this through. They do get control of the point now, which gives Fox a lot of space to potentially crits, but Snow is just walking backwards. Samson gets completely denied in his bomb onto Snow. The Netherlands should know that Portugal is on crits. They're moving in now with that Uber, making their play just jump in. The crits gets popped off, but there's no one to actually kill with said crits. The combo goes down. Eventually, Fox will get cleaned up. Actually missed with a little bit of beef. Does not get that demo, but the Netherlands all over this point have huge advantage. I think they're going to be able to cap up this point.
Yeah, a bit of a tragedy, KritzKast there. Not really popping it off until after the Uber had been popped off as well. So really not a whole lot you can do at that point. Netherlands looking like they're just going to hold it a little bit passively, and all they need to do is hold on to this for a couple more seconds. The entirety of Portugal coming in deep, though. They know this is their time if they want to be able to win this round. But Biohazard and Snow and Fucks going down. Oh no, this is looking not great for Portugal. And it's really, you know, with the heavy coming out from Mist as well, Netherlands were prepared just to hold on to it as best they could. Just trying to buy a little bit of time. Portugal, I mean, you have to go aggressive at that point. There's really not a whole lot you can do, and that's such a gamble. And it didn't wind up paying off for him this time. That's going to be the game.
I don't know, like, I feel like the crits play that they tried to run with at the end was not that bad. Like, it could have given up the point when it had like 90% and then like relocate to Cliff and then just crits from Cliff onto the people on point. But they instead kind of elected to try and contest, but they didn't get the crits in time to contest a point, so they just kind of lost DM fights. And then at some point, it felt like Snow was kind of like, it seemed like Snow was kind of baiting people at a certain point. So it like they tried, but it didn't really quite work out. But we got some logs, and we still got our dedicated analysis person. Got the boy DuMmTm here. Can you give us some thoughts on this map?
That was really interesting. There was a lot to say about that. It started off like really, really strong for the Netherlands. They had some really good stuff with the Solis, and they later on as well still had. They oftentimes, on the mid-fights, they had these double bombs, and then just immediate follow-up with the team that worked really well. But only for as long as they were the ones dictating the pace on the mid. The last two mid-fights, I think, were like entirely on the Portugal's part. The last one was really, really slow. The second last one was like really, really fast, but initiated by Portugal. And like whoever dictated the pace on the mid-fights won them in the end, and that was really interesting to see in that regard. Other than that, Portugal's holds were like really kind of weak, especially at the beginning, and like they struggled to keep them out of their own territory, and they were holding really, really passively, really far back, gave them a lot of space as well, which eventually kind of made a little bit of sense given that they had a sniper later on, but they just couldn't keep them away from themselves with these early holds. Eventually, they went in a little bit more aggressive, and that's when they got the round as well, with like much more aggressive holds and just like, trying to take the fight to the other team, even when on the defensive, and that worked so much better for them. But overall, just Netherlands holds were a lot stronger when it came to them, and it worked much, much better for the Netherlands in that regard. Other than that, something that was kind of interesting to see, not too common, is the fact that when Netherlands like did flank plays, usually you see like the normal like flank classes do the flank plays on this map, like a scout and a Soli together. But for the Netherlands, it was kind of either both scouts or both Solis at the same time that were like trying to do stuff behind or aggressively over on connector side, which is really uncommon to see. But it decently worked out for them at times, even though there was like during the middle part a little bit of like like lack of uncreativity in how to approach the sniper, but eventually they got hold of him and forced Biohazard back onto the soldier.
I mean, it kind of felt after a minute. I mean, Martin was always in the back line. I mean, there was not a whole lot of like cleanup coming. And it might have been because Biohazard was on the sniper and not really prepared to deal with that player on the flank. But I mean, Martin and DuMmTm almost always going in behind, and even if they didn't succeed, like you said, they still managed to get like some distraction in. They bring Portuguese players back and make a ton of room for their team to come forward.
Yeah, that was like the textbook definition of making space as a Soli, and it worked so well, especially at the earlier parts of the game. Portugal was just not ready to deal with it at all and just lost like all the space. Netherlands was immediately in their faces. Object just like spamming 10 stickies over the point while Solis behind are just raining in rockets from top, and like that was about the best like coordinate the gameplay parts of the game that we had in like that regard.
I mean, speaking of Aubryac spamming stickies, I don't know if we've looked at these logs already, but we've got nearly 400 DPM coming out from Aubryac. Really, actually, pretty big stats coming out from Netherlands. Tons of kills. I mean, Aubryac really like the star player of the team. I mean, that's a common thing to see high damage numbers as a demo on product, but Aubryac coming out with these kills as well. I mean, I remember all these pipes coming out, cleaning up on snow. I mean, he was making some good plays.
Also, something that like kind of stood out to me personally was the fact that Portugal, like despite the shortcomings here and there, and the fact that they lost in the end, specifically the forces were really, really strong. They always managed to pull out something when they needed it, especially when stuff was bad before, and they still somehow always found their way to Morrow in the end, and it helped them so much to just close out these situations in the end. And other than that, yeah. Oh no, you go ahead.
No, these product sacks can be hard. It can be hard to deal with too, because I mean, once you have the Uber advantage, you kind of expect the other team to make a play for your medic, and there's so much good defensive ground on product. I mean, even a 4-man sack, even fending off 4 players, can kind of, it's not really that tall of an order to fend them off. So yeah, huge props to Portugal for actually managing to make those plays work most of the time.
Yeah, it could still certainly be close going into the next map. If you look at like some logs, in the end, both teams' stats were like really, really close, like 99 to 94 kills, and almost even damage. Although damage-wise, blue team is averaging a little bit higher, with like who is on top. Like Obvious is like inflating it a little bit in the department for the Netherlands a little bit, but after that it's just almost just blue players, and that's kind of what I feel can be said about how the game went, in that Portugal just wanted to play more aggressively most of the time. Eventually they could a little bit more as well once they had the point more than the Netherlands in like the last few rounds. Not so much at the beginning, but the Netherlands had a much stronger defense, which meant that they just like didn't have to work as hard for as many things, despite it being so close in the end in terms of the stats.
Absolutely. And I mean, again, I think it's worth stressing how much Martin and TuMTm were on the flank. I mean, it makes it hard to play aggressively. I mean, Portugal might be going for these aggressive plays, and on the one hand, it makes sense, because if you've got 2 players that are behind, not doing a whole lot, then, oh, I'm sorry, we're going live here, I think? No, everyone's left, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, we have a little server switch apparently, because it wouldn't be TF2 without people complaining about ping, I guess.
Classic. No, what I was saying, though, was about the soldiers being super aggressive on the flank. You want to go forward, because if those soldiers are just kind of standing in the flank, you're basically taking a 6v4 as long as those soldiers are just behind you, not doing anything. But Martin and TuMTm were really creative about making sure that their flank plays didn't go to waste. So when Portugal would go forward, Martin and TuMTm would be there, surrounding them and putting tons of spam down from China. And when Portugal tried to play it defensively, Netherlands could take advantage of that too. I mean, either way, Portugal was kind of caught in the trap.
The last few things that I like kind of noticed a little bit was that while Biohazard did great on Sniper, they kind of just were a one-trick pony with that, in that he was a really aggressive sniper, as you mentioned, during the game. And it was going well for a little bit, but eventually they caught onto it, tried not to go as much behind and more just directly to him, and he just couldn't get the shots in anymore after that. And other than that, the one crit, we had 2 crits, but the second one obviously didn't do anything. But the first one was really, really good, just textbook passive, or, well, patient stuff, I should say. Just immediately gunning for the medic. The moment they got that, everybody just goes back, not trying to get any more kills themselves, but let the Netherlands players come to them and deny them with an Uber scout and just melt things in your face. That was really nice to see.
Definitely. So, coming into this next map then, who do you think is going to have the edge on process here? I thought they both seemed pretty even in terms of DM. I mean, so I think it's going to come down to coordination here. What do you think?
I think it will come down to how well the Portuguese team can potentially break stalemates if like the game pace comes to those, since the Netherlands have shown to be a little bit more well-versed in the slower kind of game state, and Portugal has shown to be better when it's more fast-paced, more aggressive. They can just run forward and press W. And if they can manage to break potential stalemates, they will have a great time. But if the Netherlands can just play their game, it will be really, really tough for them.
Going live right away though. Hi HiipFire.
You wanna go? You wanna go? Let's go.
Do you want to take mid? Go for it.
Nah, you can go. You go for it, man.
All right, let's do it. We got Fox pretty aggressive here, just playing on the point. Aubreyek not really finding enough space to even get to his pack. Fox has locked that off straight away. And ooh, yep, Portugal going mega aggressive here. Biohazard and 31 going straight in. 31 almost finding Snow, but not going to quite be able to clean it up. In the meantime, TuMTm and Martin have done their classic, going deep. Actually, Snow managed to get picked up in the end, and Maro, wow, Maro on literally 1 HP. And finally going to go down. Wild Piggy just getting in through sewer. Just double bombs coming out from both sides. Crazy hard to follow, but it's going to wind up being that's a Portuguese mid, just barely. Just Portugal managing that chaos a little bit better.
And that's an extremely Dutch mix style mid being played there. Soldiers jump in very deep, and then Mist and Jenny just kind of chill and just watch the soldiers die, and then just barely out DM people to kind of make the mid look competitive. But unfortunately they didn't walk with Moro, so Moro just gets killed by a flanking Wild Piggy. It's a very interesting mid, but as we've all seen, both medics have gone down, so it's even Ubers. Though Portugal wants to try to just go into second anyway.
Yeah, they're just trying to play it from this little porch area. Snow taking a little bit of spam. TuMTm trying to go for the play, but not going to find it. And 31 going to die. I think he's going down in IT. So it's just these teams are not. They clearly don't want to stalemate. They're trying to make plays happen here. And the Portuguese team has come in and managed to find Mist and Jenny and Martin all at once. And it's now just Aubreyek and Maro going back. It kind of seemed like Netherlands was a little bit too eager to get forward and find something, while Portugal came in through sewer. And it's easy to see why. That sewer area is so closed in, but they risk a little bit too much, and now they're holding their last with Biohazard trying to make some plays.
Well, Portugal trying to walk forward, but this heavy from Jenny is just denying most of this push into far left here. It does also force the Uber. They never actually focus down this heavy, so the heavy just kind of gets the spam for free. Doesn't find any frags, but Portugal with spans up top in that nest area is going to go down. That will be a failed last push for Portugal.
Yeah, that kind of turned into what I like to call the inverse Uber, where you pop your Uber in, you're ready to go, and then while you're Ubered, you manage to lose 2 players somehow. And that was before Maro ever had to pop. So pretty much as bad as it could possibly be for Portugal there on that Uber. And not finding that heavy, the heavy was just sitting in spawn, and that's just tough to focus down. Because you also feel like if you start shooting him, he's just going to switch loadouts and come back to full health in an instant. But yet, I'm not really sure what the Portuguese plan was there. I mean, they had to know Moro was so close to Uber. Now they've decided it's time for the Biohazard Sniper. So again, not really wanting to stalemate here, but Portugal is going to have to start making this aggression work better if they want to actually cap off a round.
Okay, so I'm going to predict what happens in this stalemate, right? So Biohazard is currently sniping. He's watching choke, and it almost happened there. My theory here is that Jenny is going to get really impatient. He's going to try and peek choke, and he's going to get body shot by Biohazard and die. And that's going to be what causes this push. Because, like, this is just the Dutch mix way of just kind of everyone gets impatient, and then eventually someone will do something stupid, and then a fight will ensue, and you will just try to out-DM the enemy team. Kind of just try to outskill the team that way. But for now, I mean, the Netherlands is... No, they're keeping it together. They're not peeking too far. Nobody really peeking into Biohazard's scope. So you know what? I'm proud. I'm proud of my countrymen.
Yeah, they've kept it together so far, and good thing too, because Fox has been keeping Biohazard locked out with sticks. If Netherlands tried to go anything here, they'd probably get melted right away. There's a lot of space on IT though, as Martin comes in through IT, getting some decent spam. It's 31 and spans versus Martin, and Martin's actually taking care of this 1v2 so far. The rest of the Portuguese team finally comes back to force Martin out, but it almost seems like Portugal is they're working really hard to make room for Biohazard, and in the meantime leaving the opposite flank totally wide open.
I don't really have to rush this pick, really. Like, in theory, the Portuguese side is a bit more organized than the Dutch side, so you'd think that in a longer game, in a more stalemated game, the Portuguese side would be able to outlast the Dutch team, but they just lost 2 players, so perhaps I'm a bit incorrect as the Dutch team is trying to push forward into mid.
Yeah, Portugal just kind of forgetting about IT again. Gonna lose 2 players. One guy at sewer, and then their sniper fighting from IT gets picked up by Martin, just walking straight through IT one more time. And that's gonna be the mid for Netherlands. I don't think the stalemate's gonna break, but it's at least shifted.
I'm curious as to if the Netherlands will probably want to break this. Yeah, Martin's gonna jump through and try to break the stalemate. He's gonna jump in with the air shot onto Snow.
That's gonna nuts.
The stalemate is completely over. The Netherlands gets to walk in for free. There are 4 stickies above choke, and DuMmTm will be calling those, so hopefully nobody dies to that. 31 jumps very aggressively, goes down. The rest of Portugal quite passive. The Netherlands is just not in though. They're like taking a very long time, allowing Portugal to get their spawners back up, and allowing I lost track of who it is. Wild Piggy behind as well. He's gonna do a little bit of a 1v1 against Martin, but I mean this is kind of pointless. It's not really going to achieve anything, but if he won that 1v1, at least it would have looked cool, I guess.
It would have looked cool, but the longer he's back there, the less helpful he is on last. I mean, he's still basically on mid, and this Uber is on last from the Netherlands. Portugal trying to cut it out into spawn, but that's the danger of cutting into spawn. It's super safe unless you lose the game. Nobody in position to stop that last cap. And that's round 1 for the Netherlands, bringing it all the way back from their own last. Honestly, in pretty decent time, only 7 minutes in from their last to the Portuguese last.
Yeah, now I get to see the second mid. I'm very curious to see if the Portuguese team will be able to win this mid, maybe perhaps a bit cleaner, or if the Netherlands will be able to play a bit more together, but we'll see.
So far it's looking the same as last time. Fuck's trying to take a little bit more of an aggressive stance, although here comes Netherlands' aggression in on right side. Biohazard and 31 taking advantage of the weakness on the flank to get in, but they don't really find anything. Biohazard and 31 going down. And the Portuguese team, they finally clean up Martin, but not before he's made a ton of space for the rest of his combo. And that's going to wind up being a pretty clean mid for Netherlands. They're actually even, before even capping off mid, they're in on second. They don't want any slowing down here. They want to find Snow and not stalemate again. They've made some room for Piggy to come in behind. Piggy versus Mist in IT. Looks like Piggy's going to get the best of it, and now it's Martin here to try to find Piggy. But Piggy's going to go ahead and go for the play on the combo anyway, bringing Maro down to about half HP. Biohazard and 31 coming in for the follow-up bombs, but also not going to find a whole lot. And now Snow is in a dangerous position as the rest of Netherlands comes in to finally take control of the second point.
I don't know what just happened. They had like 1 player advantage and just pushed into second. And then after miscaps mid, he loses a 1v1 in PC. And then the Netherlands is distracted, so have to like back up into choke. And then they somehow get picks on Portugal anyway. So they go into second, and they cap, and now it's a stalemate on second, and they have Martin on sniper. I don't know how this is supposed to make sense, like in the book of TF2 strategy, but it has happened. This is where we are, and right now Martin is going to be trying to find some openings.
Oh, absolutely. It's a real fun mixed game. There's nothing wrong with that. We've got the Netherlands players trying to get aggro at 5 now. Martin getting some really wide peeks in, but just going to get picked up by 31. That's super unfortunate. And yeah, with the sentry up as well, this is going to be really tough for the Netherlands to make anything happen. And as a matter of fact, Portugal looked like they might be wanting to go on this 1 player out again. No, they're just, wow, they actually do pop the Uber off. They don't want 31 to go down. He's apparently the most important player. But he's just barely able to get that force off. The rest of Portugal is going to get out safely, and this Uber is so far away from any door, there's no way that Netherlands managed to get in and cleaned up this gun. Aubryac, yeah, just walks into the gun. I guess they weren't even aware it was there. So Aubryac down. They've managed to, Biohazard and 31 are both still down, so they could take a fight, but it's real dangerous without a demo. Especially in these last fights, having your demo available to lock down the point is so important. And yeah, Netherlands want no part of that. They're going to wait for Aubryac to get back before they try to make another play.
It's unfortunate. That was not exactly the most ideal Uber, but 31 was able to jump next to second and kind of catch 2 people off guard, but there wasn't really anybody to clean up on it. They could have gone both Aubryac and I think it might have been Mist by second, and then, you know, just won his 6v4 Uber trade. But instead, yeah, like 31 went in, didn't get frags, and then it was a really weird play, but it's unfortunate they weren't able to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were scared. It can be a little bit of a gamble to bring all your players out of last to go for an exchange, and they weren't ready for that kind of commitment. They they decided to play it safe and just make sure they were going to hold on to last. So, unfortunately, we stalemated again, and we don't have any off classes, so I'm assuming we're waiting on Martin to make a play here, but we'll see exactly what happens.
This is a bit awkward for Portugal because you're obviously set up to hold last and you're down around, so you actually don't really want to be in this position. But on the other hand, you can't really afford to just try and just even uber push out. So they kind of just are stuck here waiting for the Netherlands to kind of mess up. And I mean, the sack does allow Portugal to at least send somebody out. It seems to be that Biohazard's the one that wants to try and get a distraction going and then jump in. But he has been spotted, and the spawner has come back in for the Netherlands. So Portugal is now just kind of utilizing this little forward hold that they have in lobby, which isn't the worst idea in the world, but it's quite fragile.
It's a little bit dangerous because there are some creative bombs that can come out jumping up the stairs at lower lobby, and especially if you're not actually planning to sack anybody, there's just no reason to be that far forward. Unfortunately, Aubryac getting a nice deep trap at the shutter, gonna find Fucks. And now it's just 31 on his own holding this right side while the rest of Netherlands tries to make their way into lobby. I think they're looking for their own sack as well. It's Martin in lower lobby looking for a pick, but in 31 going to find Aubryac a little bit too far forward. Aubryac trying to make some space for his sniper, but is a little too eager with it. And with no traps, that's all the confidence you need to come forward and cap this off. Biohazard getting really low. It's all on 31 to kill Mist and save Biohazard. Actually going to wind up going down himself. I would have liked to see Spans maybe get a little bit more aggressive there. I mean, Fucks was already on the cap. They were going to get it. It would have been much better to save his players. And with Martin hitting another headshot, Fucks down to 6 HP. That was looking really promising for Portugal, but they've been forced back to their last. And Martin's on the sniper, so they got to be careful here if they want to be able to hold on to this.
Portugal was way too scared of that sniper. Like, 31 was the only one that was able to really deny choke, and they had Spans capping second, and Fucks just kind of sitting on the high ground, baiting people. 31 doing a good job of denying the combo through one from the Netherlands, and Netherlands with a bit of a worse pop. Portugal might be able to catch a demo off guard here. 31 finds that frag. No one else in for the Netherlands, in on last, so Portugal can try and move off of this one demo pick. 31 wanting to take the heals into lobby together with Spans, find the frag out to DuMmTm. Martin going down, and at this point, the Netherlands has to leave.
Yeah, they really want it. They're just going to leave their NPC to hold last. They want no chance of Netherlands making another big play on second. They bring the entire squad forward, and they're going to cap this off pretty confidently. They're on even Ubers, and they've actually still got 2 picks, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them move into mid. Those spawns have just come up, so they've got time to make a decent fight. Biohazard trying to get aggro in the IT here, but he's going to decide it's not quite worth it, and unfortunately, Portugal are going to they're going to wig out a little bit and decide to just have another stalemate for a second here.
Well,
Martin on the spy now, though.
I mean, Portugal made it out of last. I mean, you can pat yourself on the back on that. That's not exactly always the easiest thing to do. But yeah, with Martin, it's quite scary. They didn't catch it before. Snow does seem to be looking out for it. Spans actually saw Martin on second uncloaking, but I guess he didn't quite spot it. And there he is behind Snow, and that's going to be another drop for Snow on a different map this time. And the Netherlands just gets to push in for free now.
Martin the spy main, yeah, and Netherlands are not wasting any time. They're in. Wow, Biohazard Piggy and they're all on mid. They're gonna cap this off, and it's all on DuMmTm to stop it, but he's not gonna be able to. And what should have been an absolute disaster for Portugal is actually turned into a really amazing play. Spans and Wild Piggy now on second. They're taking the 2v1 with Martin. I mean, Martin getting some really decent rockets off on Spans. But unfortunately, in the meantime, Netherlands going to recap mid, and this is actually... I'm not sure how I feel about this now, because it was really impressive to watch Portugal cap off mid like that. But now they're basically 2 scouts down. Netherlands are opting to play it back and just try to find Piggy before going forward. So I guess this wound up being the right play. Netherlands still have a pretty decent Uber advantage. I really would like to see them just hold W, though. I mean, they know that there's no scouts for Portugal. Just bomb your soldiers in. You'll find the frags.
Piggy's gonna hide on second and wait for DuMmTm to spawn. But oh, the Netherlands knows. They know that Wapping is just gonna spawn camp. They're gonna try and clean up in a 1v2. Neither really connecting any shots. Eventually they find that frag. And the Netherlands actually capping up second as well. And Portugal now has to hold with a decent amount of disage.
Yeah, I don't know if Piggy just wasn't calling properly, but 3 players went back for him. He should have been able to tell his team to try to stay in and get the force, but Portugal went all the way back to the last without offering really any resistance. The Uber has come out from Morrow, and they've only really found 1 frag. Aubriette going down as well, and Jenny. Just even numbers so far. It's all on miss to find this frag on the Biohazard, but no such luck. He's going to be backing out in the lobby, back on the second. DuMmTm going for a huge bomb, but Biohazard sees it and has big things to say about that. What an air shot coming out. Oh, that was a double air shot. Wow. I wish I'd seen it.
That's, I mean,
I missed out.
There's many things wrong with that, but then Biohazard, like, styling on the Netherlands as well is like, just the icing on the cake. Like, that's just beautiful. And now Portugal gets to push in. They're losing a couple players, but the Netherlands is basically already out of mid. Portugal, for now,
but keep an eye on
cleanly
DuMmTm. He's in the forwards. DuMmTm bombing on the point.
Oh no!
Gets 1 good rocket, and on the jump, on the snow,
this is
it gets
so
the
dumb.
force.
Why does that work? Oh, that's so dumb.
Forward spawns are a complicated process, man.
Man, somebody needs to clip that. That's the most DuMmTm thing I've ever seen. Sit in forward spawn, just jump in. That makes a lot of sense, but it gets the force. And Portugal trying to sack on tomorrow. They lose 2 and don't even get the force. 31's behind. He beefs his jump. He's 20 HP. He has to leave.
Nah, he's out of there. He wants none of that. And it's Netherlands coming into choke now, too. A 31 dies at the last second. Biohazard going for his own forward plays. He's not really in the forwards, but he's close enough. Going for the bomb, and totally not watched at all. Nearly gets a nice little 2-rocket on Morrow, but fast reactions from Morrow. Keeping herself alive. Not dropping the Uber this time. So now there's not really that much of an Uber advantage for Portugal. I could see them going for a play off of it, but it'd definitely be dangerous. But I mean, you're a round down and there's only 12 minutes left. That's usually not a big deal, but these rounds have been so slow anyway. I would be a little bit nervous about Portugal. I'd be trying to make some plays at this point. And with Jenny on the sniper as well, I mean, you can't just sit here. You have to try to get something done, because sooner or later, that sniper is going to hit a shot.
Yeah, if they want to go in with little ad, it's going to be quite difficult because they're going to get forced really early, and because they have such little ad, the Netherlands gets to re-push with their Uber very quickly afterwards. They're going to be pushing here through PC. Jenny doesn't even have to force anybody, and they get nothing done with this. They get spacing on mid, but Uber now being popped by the Netherlands, they're just getting chased out, and Portugal, they're getting cut off here. A soldier gets launched, Fux goes down as well, and the rest is just stuck in choke. They're trying to push. Biohazard gets Morrow somehow. I don't know how that happened. Portugal is doing a decent job of at least trying to salvage this, and they're actually just winning this somehow, some way. The Netherlands push in with full ad. Portugal is the one who wipes. The Netherlands is the one who wipes. That's the point here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what those Dutch players were trying to accomplish there. I mean, the Portuguese Uber was an absolute whiff, like you said. They didn't find anything. I mean, they had a soldier veering off back to their own choke rather than going in for the play. And then the Netherlands maybe just jumping the gun a little bit, not really keeping an eye on where the rest of the team was. I'm really kind of at a loss for words as what happened to that Dutch Uber. But in the meantime, they're on their own last again, so this could be an opportunity for Portugal to tie it up.
Yeah, Portugal gets a chance to move in. At least they can attempt to. They don't really have much ad. And I think the smart play is just to wait, because, you know, they're sitting on the Dutch second, so they can just wait. They're actually going to double scud into 1. This is a play that I wasn't really expecting. They're going to find the pyro frag. Now the Uber gets popped by the Netherlands. Snow does successfully get out, which is kind of the key component here. Martin dying means that Portugal, they get the sentry down as well. This play is working out really well, and they're just standing on the point. There's no sticks on it, and that's gonna be it. That was the biggest brain play. If that was the entire idea, I love it, because that actually was really well executed.
That was brilliant. I mean, Portugal just abusing the flank there. I mean, the Uber exchange is a distraction. I mean, that is have to pick that up, put it in my own game. Gosh dang. Fuck's now on the mid, getting there way earlier than Aubryac. Fuck's going for the Cadus rollout. Way faster. Aubryac down to about half HP, so I'd expect to see Portugal try to get aggro, but it's actually Martin going for the big distraction bomb. Lots of damage coming out for on the Portuguese team, though. Martin going in for another big bomb, but he was already so weak. Actually, DuMmTm managing to find the follow-up on the biohazard, so just soldiers traded out so far. But Wild Piggy going to hit some big shots, and Span going to clean up pretty easily. Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be, barring any miracles, this is a Portuguese mid. And Aubryac going for the miracle play in the choke, going to find a decent pipe on the Fucks. It's just Spans on almost no HP versus Aubryac. And Aubryac is just going to choose to play the flank demo, the roamer demo, as opposed to maybe holding with his team on last. I'm not sure if I agree with it, but he's going for it. Let's see if he gets anything done. No, he's done. So now it's a demo down walking into second. There's nothing for Portugal to fear other than maybe some hiding players. They're going to get this cap immediately, and let's see if they decide to go balls to the wall and take it in the last.
They did last time. I'm not sure if they have some more tricks, some more strats. Wild Piggy going down does make it a bit awkward, but that was at least a good mid from Portugal there. Interesting soldier trade there by Rolla, but anyway, the mid went quite well. You know, if Fucks gets there so early and gets the pressure Aubryac before he even gets to their little PC platform, like he's just in choke. The entirety of the Netherlands is just stuck in choke. So Portugal gets to take so much space on mid, and they just win it off of that. But Martin is on Spy, and this time he gets caught. This time he gets found out. So hopefully there will be no for any Portugal fans out there, hoping that he does that Snow does not drop. He does uncloak now. He's gonna go for the roamer pick, you know, most logical pick in the world. Gets the you know, why not? And actually 4 players are gone from Portugal. I look away, and there's no Portuguese players to be seen.
Snow kind of forgot that you have to click mouse 2 in order to get your Uber off, and the entire team goes down to the sentry pretty much. Well, Martin going for a big play, getting Snow pretty low, and with the distraction, Fucks is gonna, you know, whip around a little bit too much, and Netherlands are gonna sneak up behind him and pick him up. So with 2 players, with the demo man down, this could be a push for Netherlands. With 2 players down, wow! Actually, Portugal are going for the exchange as well as Netherlands trying to back out. Both Ubers off. Lots of flashing coming out for Snow though, so this is a slightly better Uber for the Dutch players. Portugal still playing extremely aggro. 31 going for a big bomb, but Mist is there to meet him. Gonna clean him up immediately. Mist now going in for his own play. Finds 1 decent shot into Snow, and if Aubryac can land 1 pipe, if Martin can land 1 rocket, it'll be all over for Portugal, but Snow is just dancing and dodging around, keeping himself alive, except for DuMmTm finally making his way into sewer. Wild Piggy just, if he'd done like 10 more damage, Wild Piggy could have kept that from happening, but just DuMmTm barely making that play, and is gonna salvage something out of this for the Dutch team.
Dutch team needs to just sit on last. Jenny dying there is really unnecessary because Portugal has way better spawners than the Netherlands does. So the Netherlands now gets to has to hold with like low amount of players, and Portugal kind of gets second for free. Like you don't even really, there was no one really to offer up any resistance. Portugal going with the creative play once again. They're gonna go with crits against Uber, and this is process last, so it's not that bad. But the Uber actually, or the push will be coming in from the Netherlands with their Uber from lower lobby. It appears they do lose Jenny, but they're gonna be moving in soon, perhaps. I'm not really sure what they're trying to do here. They're kind of double guessing. Oh, double taking. In now.
Yeah, finally the Uber coming in. I don't really know what they were doing either. They were kind of messing around in lobby, maybe a little bit worried about the flank. Speaking of flank, Fucks and Biohazard in for the big flank. It's all on Biohazard to clean up onto Martin, but he kind of gives up at the end there. Yeah. All these spawns coming up and finding it. Spans, maybe not quite hearing word of what was going on. Thinking he can maybe clean up, but he just feeds into the 5 players standing in on mid. Or not on mid, on the point. And that's going to be an easy recap for Netherlands now. After that chaotic fight, it's going to wind up being an easy cap.
The crits will be coming up soon, so they eventually do get their crits advantage is what they're looking for. Giving up a point is maybe less than ideal, but they're going to be moving with it now, probably through choke, and we'll see how successful it is.
It's another brain play. They're baiting Netherlands in. Netherlands is far forward, playing on second now. but they're starting to back off a little bit. The Kritz comes out, Fucks shoots one sticky, shoots another, doesn't find anything. We might find Mist at the end of the Kritz, but actually Mist might be going for the play. Fucks super low. Ultimately not going to die, but Portugal is now ready. They've got their own actual Uber charge, popping it off. Not really finding a whole lot. Span's going in for the flank play, and actually Fuck's going in for the back cap now too, but they haven't capped second, so going in for the flank play is not nearly as effective as it could be. 31 as well going in for the play, and it's just Snow surviving. Not really sure what Portugal was thinking sacking the whole team there. I feel like it would have been a little bit more productive to... And if you're going to sack the whole team, like, you should sack your med in as well, but I think it would have been more productive to just try to regroup on mid. And get the crits from mid in the second, as opposed to getting your medic out. Now you're on a position where if you crits and fail now, you're going to be on your own last. So I'm not really sure what the Portuguese plan there was.
I mean, giving... if I have to think of what the plan would be, was maybe they wanted the crits in before the Netherlands at the point, so they kind of crits and then get a frag on the point, and then they can send people behind and try to get the back cap. But instead, they kind of went in too late, so they already lost second and couldn't go to last. And now the Netherlands is going to be coming in with their own Uber, but they need to get forced, or else Portugal is going to be in the most awkward spot you could possibly be.
Yeah, that's no good. I mean, Uber versus crits is pretty much the worst position you could be on, holding your own last. DuMmTm going in, actually trying to make it even worse, trying to find Snow. Brings him down to about half HP, but is going to wind up getting cleaned up in the end. But I don't think it really matters. Trading out frag for frag, and with Netherlands still on Uber, I mean, crits is wonderful against players that aren't invulnerable, but Uber is like the direct counter to crits. So I'm expecting to see Netherlands just go for this in a couple seconds. Portugal going for the aggressive crits, hoping to drop Martin, but they haven't really gotten trying to drop Maro. Maro very landing on a crit sticky and popping just in time. They only find one frag with this Uber, but it seems like they want to take it anyway. Portugal is they've rotated left side completely to try to make that crits work, and that's going to leave a ton of room for the Netherlands to get in. Demo Man and Scout on the point. Portugal not ready for it at all, and that's going to be another round for the Netherlands. Portugal, I mean, that's really being in that situation with the Kritzkrieg is just tough, but unfortunately just making the wrong decisions.
Yeah, I mean, the Netherlands didn't really seem too keen to push into a crits, so what you could have just done is maybe just sack a soldier in and hope that the Netherlands wouldn't push into you, but instead they just went for the crit sticky snipe, which, I mean, was a good attempt. It didn't work out, but now it's going to be the next mid, and Portugal is just in. They are just in choke, and they got one frag, and the rest of Portugal's kind of back, and they have all but given up on this mid. And Snow is getting chased actually by Jenny as well, trying to win this little 1v1. It's one arrow, maybe two. Fucks is here to help out, but Fucks, oh,
nice.
That's gonna be it. And the
taunt,
the taunt. He's losing so much Uber over this taunt, but it doesn't matter because you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Yeah, Portugal were feeling the pressure on that mid. There's less than 2 minutes left now. Portugal just really hoping to make a big play on that mid and bring it all back. And I think maybe that taunt coming out because they're not quite feeling like it's going to be possible to push from their own last in a minute 30. And yeah, well, let's see. It's definitely doable. It's just a tall order. Biohazard going in for the play now, getting the force off. Snow only on 80, so actually Portugal going for the big plays. Aubryac on their flank at IT, kind of gonna somehow manage to make it out. Weird plays coming out. Martin now on the flank, the Uber getting forced out. I want to say forced out, but Snow is full health. I guess just trying not to drop any players, but these players are going to die directly after the Uber anyway. With Snow going down, 31 down, Spans down, and only Jenny in return. Wild Piggy's going to try to build a sentry in this last and try to salvage some pride, but this game is definitely a Dutch game.
This is quite unfortunate, you know? Like, you want to always believe that the comeback is happening, but then that happened, the series of events where everyone dies and Uber gets popped from a medic on 150 HP and dropping like his entire team. It's just, it's not great. And the Netherlands is just gonna chill. They want to first get their Uber up, make it impossible for Portugal to win, and then they want to push in. They're just losing players, which is not too hot, but oh, it's a back cap. They said 3 through lobby. Oh, you can't do that, and that's gonna be it. It's going to be 3-1 for the Netherlands, and Netherlands is going to take out both maps for this official, and it's pretty much going to be, well, this was the battle for second seed in this group, and it's looking like unless some upsets can happen against perhaps Germany, that it's not looking too hot. But congratulations to the Netherlands. Holos.
I mean, excellent play from the Netherlands, and I'm similar to yesterday's games. These have all been really aggressive, really like fun to watch games. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch. I mean, Martin and DuMmTm both keeping up the same strategy they had on product. Were just getting aggressive bombs as often as they could, and the rest of the team following them behind made it work almost every time. It was just an absolute joy to watch, and Portugal managing to make it close, but not nearly enough, and especially at the end, they kind of panicked and went for some crazy plays that didn't work out either. But either way, I mean, my analysis is worthless in the face of our resident analyst, DuMmTm. What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie, it was tough to make sense of the game at times. As you mentioned, a really good mix at times. But that's what you expect with the Nations Cup sometimes, because, you know, people haven't played that much together. Overall, like just mentioned, really fun game, really fast-paced. Lots of impatient people that just wanted to play aggressive. And sometimes it worked wonders for Portugal, and they just found the weirdest strats. Like, the one, like, sag into immediate backup, but they always wanted a little bit too much, and then they wanted the double backup, but, you know, the cap on mid already started before they even arrived on second, and just meant people were stuck behind, couldn't do anything. Really strange in that regard sometimes. Overall, Portugal wanted to keep up the pace as much as they could from last map, just really aggressive with lots of sags, trying to just jump in the entire time, every time they could. Not working all the time though, it's not King of the Hill, the spawns are obviously not in your favor all that much in 5CP as they are on King of the Hill, and it just was really strange. Last pushes were weird though, because both teams kind of struggled with it, like with conventional last pushes a lot. The Netherlands kind of had some really sketchy pushes at times, and like managed to not have that great of a focus as they wanted to on those. Portugal started out similarly, especially in the first round, which was a really long one, but eventually just had some like nice strats, as you guys mentioned, and it was like twice that round, one into another, like an Uber exchange into just disappearing into like thin air, and then the immediate repush from somewhere else, and like both times it should have been a better Uber for the Netherlands because they popped second, significantly so, both on mid and on last that round, and Portugal just kind of managed to disappear in front of their eyes, and Netherlands better Uber wasn't able to do anything in both cases, and it was just really nice to see. That was like the best Portugal had to offer that round. That was the second round, like last few minutes into the end of that round, when they eventually got their first round in this game. And that was like so impressive to see, but in the end it wasn't enough, because like I mentioned, so much impatient on the Portuguese squad, just always wanting a little bit too much, and there's so much more flank controllers in the Dutch part. Especially Martin at the beginning is a great example of this. Just had so many plays, and over the course of the game in general, just so many plays where he just had such good coordination with his team.
And good coordination from Martin, and I think you're absolutely right about Portugal not really taking the time the way they should have been on some of these aggro plays. I remember in particular early in the game they were taking their sniper deep in the sewer, and they just like twice in a row in the space of like a minute, they just completely left IT open, and Martin got through completely for free. Just not really paying attention to what was going on around the flanks. But as for these logs, I mean, you can kind of see these logs are not nearly as close as they were on the product game. The Netherlands clearly pulling out ahead in terms of both frags and damage, especially in frags, actually. And you can see, you know, these backstabs coming out from Martin. Not a whole lot of headshots coming out this time. But the damage is definitely there for the Netherlands. I'm actually almost surprised that these numbers are as low as they are, considering how fast-paced of a game it was. We only had a couple stalemates early on in that first round.
Yeah, it was still interesting though, just because like it might have been like like if you just watched the game, it looked like Netherlands had control for the most part, despite the scoreline, and it could have been a much different story if the Dutch team was just any better at converting off of like any situations they had. But oftentimes, it just like something always came in the way because Portugal just did the weirdest stuff at times, and it just so surprised them that they just couldn't keep going, and just slowed them down enough to get stuff done in the end somehow. Nonetheless, really, really fun game now after everything that we just said.
All right. I don't know if anybody else has anything to add, but I don't think we're going to be having anything such as an interview. So, any closing words? If either of you have any closing words, you can say them now.
Well, just taking a look at what else happens in the upcoming days. So for one, there was a second game on Team Fortress TV. If you haven't caught that live, just check it out on YouTube the coming days. That was the Czech Republic versus Israel. I'm not gonna like spoil the score right now for the curious, but it looked like a really interesting series. So I would recommend that. And today is the 18th, so 19th will be tomorrow. And I see some games, maybe it's some good ones that like 3 I can already see here. So stay tuned for more of the Nations Cup. We will be covering as much as we can. Tomorrow will be difficult though because it's coinciding with Premiership playoffs. But if we can pull it off, we'll try. And even then, Nations Cup will be going like all month long and then some. So stay tuned here on KritzKast and on TF2. We'll be bringing you all the games we can.
Boop, boop.
I've gotten all my shoutouts out of the way as yesterday. What do you think, HiipFire? What do you got?
Oh, shoutouts. I mean, shoutouts to KritzKast, I guess. Shoutouts to you two for casting with me. Shoutouts to Louis van Gaal's army, I guess. Shoutouts to all the non-Louis van Gaal's army people playing in this game that graciously decided that they would be willing to play with the legends of the Dutch TF2 scene. I don't know. I mean, I think that's. I don't really have much else to shout. I guess shouts to my team, Chumto.net. They're good boys, and I think that's it. Well, go hit that follow button so you can catch more Nation Cups games and Highlander stuff and whatever else KritzKast might cover in the future.
Hi, old beaver! Away!